Top 10 creepy real crime stories. Woman living in cupboard. In 2000, a man in Japan noticed food mysteriously disappearing from his apartment. Suspicious, he set up cameras around his place. The next day, he was shocked to see footage of a woman walking around his house. Thinking she was a burglar, he called the police. However, officers found a 58-year-old woman hiding in the top of a cupboard designed to store bedding and mattresses. There was just enough room for her to lie down, and she had been living there the whole time, lying perfectly still in the dark, just meters away from him. She would wait for him to leave so she could use the house as if it were her own. Now, wouldn't you want to check every single cupboard in your house? Armin Maiwis. This story is not for the faint-hearted. In the early 2000s, Armin Maiwis visited a website called The Cannibal Cafe, where he posted a listing looking for a well-built 18 to 25-year-old to be slaughtered and then consumed. Astonishingly, a few people responded but backed out. However, one man, Bernd Brandes, went to Armin's house where they filmed a gruesome event. Armin cut off Brandes' penis and tried to cook it, but it burned. This horrifying scene continued as Brandes bled to death in the bathtub. Armin eventually killed him, froze his flesh, and lived off it for 10 months. He was caught when he posted online looking for his next victim and bragged about his previous actions. Armin is now serving a life sentence in prison. The Silent Twins. Jennifer and June Gibbons, known as the Silent Twins, only ever spoke to each other. They became obsessed with each other and shunned the community around them, even developing their own language. The twins began committing crimes together, such as arson, which led them to be committed to a mental health institution for 14 years. They felt trapped and believed that only one of them could lead a normal life if the other died. Shortly after their release, Jennifer died from a rare heart inflammation, and June began to live a normal life for the first time. I'm watching you. In 2015, Chelsea Clark from Toronto received a Facebook message titled "Really Cute Couple" from a stranger whose profile picture was the Joker. The message contained photos of Chelsea and her boyfriend in bed the previous night. This was particularly unsettling because Chelsea's settings did not allow messages from strangers. The account was deleted soon after, and police investigations have led to no results. It serves as a reminder that someone could be watching you through your devices. The Cemetery Clown. In 2015, Julie Graham and her husband were driving past Rose Hill Cemetery at night when they spotted a figure climbing over the cemetery gate. They captured a picture and circled back to realize it was a clown standing alone among the gravestones, slowly waving at them. The clown then turned and walked into the darkness. Police investigated the next day, but found no signs of disturbance. What was the cemetery clown doing that night? The children, respected journalist Brian Bethel, shared a chilling story that changed many opinions on the paranormal. One evening, Brian was parked outside a movie theater when two boys approached his car. Even before they spoke, he was gripped with an inexplicable fear. They asked for a ride to get money for a movie. When he refused, they started banging on his window, insisting, "We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in." As Brian tried to drive away, he noticed their eyes were deep, cold black. The encounter has haunted him ever since. Robert the Doll. In 1904, a Jamaican woman believed to practice black magic gifted a doll to a boy named Eugene Otto. Soon after, Eugene's parents reported hearing conversations between him and Robert the Doll. At night, they would hear Eugene scream, and the furniture around Robert would be thrown around. Neighbors claimed to see the doll move from window to window when the family was away. The doll remains in the Fort East Martello Museum in Florida and inspired the horror movie Child's Play, The Murder Castle. In 1886, H.H. Holmes built a hotel in Chicago, finished just in time for the 1893 World's Fair. However, This was no ordinary hotel. Almost every part of it was designed as a torture chamber. The hotel had gas chambers, rooms to suffocate or starve people to death, and a hanging room. Holmes designed the building to confuse victims with staircases leading to nowhere and doors bricked off. He disposed of bodies through a chute into the basement, where he incinerated them in furnaces. Holmes is known as America's first serial killer. The real Leatherface, Ed Gein inspired the movies Psycho and The Silence of the Lambs. Obsessed with his mother, Ed began by digging up bodies of recently buried females and cutting off body parts to keep as trophies. He then moved on to a killing spree. When police discovered the dismembered body of a woman in his farmhouse shed, they also found a freshly cooked human heart on the stove, drinking bowls made out of skulls, and face masks made from human skin. The diet of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old Canadian woman who visited LA in 2013. After her calls to her parents suddenly stopped, she was reported missing. Days later, a video surfaced of her behaving erratically in a hotel elevator, seemingly gesturing to something in the hallway. Guests at the hotel complained about the water being black and foul-tasting. Upon investigation, Elisa's decomposing body was found in the water tank on the roof. The police have no explanation for how she got into the tank, leading many to believe it was either a murder or something supernatural. These stories are both scary and real, leaving us with more questions than answers. Which one creeps you out the most? Let me know, and maybe we can dive into a part 2. Sleep tight, and remember to check those cupboards. For more eerie and unsettling tales, make sure to follow Let Me Tell You Story.